Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, welcome to the Hounds of Business Presents Mike King Biz Radio on 106.1 ESPN RVA. Special guests, good friends of mine, and folks that are amazing. We're going to be talking about brand, all about branding and why it matters and how to do it right and who can help you with that. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the intro. Let's get this party started. Can't wait. Hope you're having a great Friday. Let's go. Let's move at
Are you looking to grow your network and your net worth with other high level, heart centered professionals? Then grab a seat and your favorite beverage and join Mike Asherbrenner, the Redneck Connector. It's time for the Hounds of Business Community Happy Hour.
Again, welcome. My name is Mike Asherbrenner. I'm the proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business community, full of heart-centered, high-level professionals, and you're about to meet two of them. Two of them extraordinary folks. One of them you just heard on the video. That's the voiceover. So let's go ahead and bring them up. Michael Carr, Tanya Eberhart of BrandFace. Hey, welcome to the stage. How are you today?
Hey, we're doing great, Mike. Thanks so much for having us. This is our first time on Mike King's radio show.
That's right. We're very excited about this.
Is it really?
It sure
Man,
is.
I can't remember what I did yesterday. Um, But hey, that's okay. So I tell you what, I want the folks to get to know you because you would think the Hounds of Business was full of me, right? Country folks, but it's getting there, but not really. So you guys were the first people who are more country or as country as me, right? Coming to the pack. Most of the people in the early stages of the Hounds of Business were from New York and California. I guess I was the novelty act in my camo hat. You guys can't see that on the air, right? But you guys are from Georgia, and if you want, give me your background. I don't want to share it because you tell it better than anybody, Tanya. So we'll start with you.
Okay, you got it. Actually, I am from the country. I was country before country was cool, right? Oh, country
Hmm.
when country wasn't cool. I think that's it. Barbara Mandrell song, actually. So I grew up in the mountains of North Georgia, and for just a little bit of a cool backstory, it's in a little tiny town called Dawsonville. And Dawsonville is known as the moonshine capital of the world. It is where stock car racing got its start as well, for the reasons you can imagine, trying to outrun the law, right? So my grandpa's family, they were most of them were moonshiners. There were 10 kids in the family, and all the boys were in the moonshine side of the family. So I grew up with that. It was very, very interesting. I decided I wanted to leave there and go off to college and make my way in the world. And I actually spent 3 years selling vacuum cleaners door to door to pay my way through college. That's really where I began to understand the concepts of personal branding. I didn't even know the term personal branding. I didn't know what that meant, had no idea. But I learned how to craft my story, get in a lot of doors. And then I was discovered by somebody in the radio world of all things, Mike King, in the radio world. And as soon as I got into that world, doors were slammed in my face a lot harder and a lot faster because I was trying to sell them radio advertising and I didn't know what I was doing. I was green. And that's when I really learned the truth, the hard truth about personal branding. And that's if you want people to view you differently, you have to change the way you present yourself. So I worked really hard on presenting myself differently, not just talking about audiences and formats and all of those kind of things, but what I could do to actually help my clients grow their business through the power of radio. I became one of the first radio salespeople in the country to have my own website. And it just really took off from there. It worked so well for me that I was finally viewed differently that I thought this can work for my clients too. So I began bringing some of them into the studio, helping them craft their message and turning them into local business celebrities. And so that's my story. And fast forward to 2013, I began writing the first book about personal branding in our series, in our BrandFace series. And it was around that time that I met Michael, and I'll let him pick it up from here.
Oh, y'all are in for a treat. Wait till Cupid is flying in the background, radio folks. You can't see this. All right, hold on. And if your wife or partner's with you, don't listen to this. I go because he got me in trouble last time he started talking. All right, So
Yeah,
go ahead, Michael.
I want to address this country accent that you claim that I have. That's the first thing we need to talk about. No, yeah, grew up in a little small town. First class in my high school to graduate over 100 kids. School was so bad we had to learn to read and write in church. And but I didn't want to be an engineer or anything else. I didn't want to be a lawyer. I wanted to be an auctioneer. So my first passion right out of high school was mentoring underneath an auctioneer to sell cars and equipment. And then he told me in the process to get my real estate license, and I might make a little extra money on the side. And so fast forward for me, a decade and a half later, the mortgage debacle comes about, and I'm sitting poised. I'm trained as an auctioneer. I'm trained as a real estate broker. I've got a license in 3 or 4 states, and so I team up with a company out of Irvine, California, and we go after the Bear Stearns residential portfolio. When they went under and we got it, I ended up licensed in 31 states and have sold over 81,000 residential transactions in my career. And but good auctioneers are working themselves out of a job every day. So I end up back in my hometown north of Atlanta, and I buy a piece of property, and the lady that was the other agent convinced me to open a brokerage, which is something I never thought that I would do, had any interest in, other than for my own stuff. But I said, if you'll help me, we'll do it. And she did. And then about 2 weeks later, she said, your marketing stinks. We'll never catch any traction. You need to talk to my niece. And Tanya was my niece. And at the same time, she was telling Tanya, Michael's expecting your phone call. Michael's expecting your phone call. And so finally, Tanya calls me. I was very mean, very rude to her. She told me what she could do. And I told her, look, I've had 5 others just like you, and I don't need another one. And she said, real quick, you've never met anybody like me. I got the goods and know what I'm talking about, and you need to just trust me. And then I grilled her for about 2 weeks. I mean, and really give her a hard time, see if she could stand a test of Michael, and she could. And so we got started. And what I thought she was selling me, which was marketing, and what I thought I needed, which was marketing, she was teaching me branding. And I didn't even know that existed. And I didn't realize she had written a book. And I didn't realize that I was the first real estate guinea pig in that book. But it worked. And it worked unbelievably so that I was graced. I was blessed enough that she asked me to join the company and buy into the company, which I did happily. And now I'm the COO of BrandFace. I'm also still the CEO of our real estate firm that grows every year. And thanks to her principles. And then I loved all that so much, I asked her to marry me, and she said yes. And so now I just tell everybody the secret of my success is listening to Tanya.
Yeah, I'm not married to her, and I know that's the truth in business world. Like, hey, everybody in the radio, let me recap what he just said. He came grudgingly from marketing, found branding, and left with love. Oh, see, we need those soundboards.
Headline.
Yes,
Oh man,
it's going to be a Hallmark movie. We're working with people right now,
I'm s-
and
No, we're not. But if
it's
there's
just,
anybody out there who wants to tell that crazy story, come on around.
oh man, you all didn't even scratch the surface because we got 25 minutes, not like my live stream that's for 3 hours, right? So here's what. Oh, real quick, Michael Carr, you guys have a nonprofit, right? Let's go
we
ahead
do.
and drop that out there. What is it, real quick, and give
Uh,
the website.
yeah, BeMyBlessing.org. 2 E's in the BEE, myblessing.org. And what we do is I was a novice beekeeper. I'm still a novice beekeeper. I think you can keep bees for 50 years and still be a novice beekeeper. But we collect the honey, and not only are we helping sustain life through honeybees, but we collect the honey, process the honey, and then we offer it to organizations to sell and make the profit on, to raise money for whatever their initiatives are: ball teams, clubs, missions, churches, synagogues, anything
Wow.
like that. Yeah, anything that helps feed or educate a human, we'll back the play on. So it's
See,
BeMyBlessing.org.
BeMyBlessing.org. You
Yeah.
guys are so busy building so many businesses and growing and helping people, and you made time to give back. I mean, that says it all right there, man. There's a sea of everybody, right? Everybody, we're overpopulated everywhere. But when I see folks that take that time, they don't have time. They made time to pay it forward. I can't say enough good about it. So, um, let's see. let me get right into it. Actually, we got a question up here on the screen, but radio folks can't see this. We're airing this live stream. So can you briefly explain the difference between marketing and branding? Absolutely. That was my next question anyway. Tanya?
I love that question, Sharon.
Yeah, thank
Yep.
you. So, yes, we simplified this for you guys. And marketing is simply using different vehicles, marketing channels or vehicles to get a message and image out to your ideal customers. But the message and image that goes into those marketing vehicles, that is your brand. Think of it like this: if
Right.
you were just to go out and buy a bunch of billboards and they're blank, well, you still have the marketing vehicle. What goes into it, that is the message that comes from the who you serve and how you serve them and how it makes their life better, etc. And that is the story of your brand.
Okay. Let me translate this in real country speak. So you got a Lamborghini, right? It's ready to race on the road, but you got a busted alternator or a flat or a low tire, and you try to market that thing. You try to drive it around. You're not winning, right? And that was me, guys. Listen, I got to find this, the Hounds Museum. So my original brand, you could tell this because you helped me. You cleaned me up. People say, that says it all. Seeing is believing, right? If you can help me out, dadgummit, you can help anybody. And you've worked with some of the best of the best. I mean, unbelievable people. Uh, but here's what it was funny. I had my LinkedIn profile had a banner, had two country guys in overalls and straw hats talking on a bench, and in pink of all colors, right? My original business, redneck financial coach is what it said. And somehow you saw that and you thought, hey, I can help this guy. Like he's on the right track, wrong train, right? So how did we meet? Tell the folks because it's a great story.
Yeah, we were on a show with Russ and Scott. We were on their live stream show, and you just started making comments. And I saw the word redneck in the comments, and I thought, that's incredible. We have to meet this guy, because if you're brave enough to do that, and then on top of that, putting your, brand identifier in pink on your cover photos, it's like, okay, this is a guy who's not afraid to step outside the box.
Yeah.
and,
She
and
told me that
Love it.
before she reached out to you. She's like, I'm gonna reach out to this guy. Like anybody that would do that, like he's already got the idea,
he's
right?
got it. He's
He
got the
just needs
goods.
my help. And I'm like, well, go ahead, see what's up.
Man. No, I'm glad I see again, courage before confidence. Because it could have went really bad. In fact, it wasn't that easy at first. I mean, it's who I am. How many fiduciaries run around in camo hats and not too many. But I tell you what, honestly, it has been the best experience. We met over a year ago. You guys helped me brand, and I didn't understand brand like most people did. And it was business and life changing. And it was business changing because it helped people, like you guys say, people meet your brand before they meet you.
Mm-hmm.
So when they see something that they can relate to and they want to learn more, then your marketing, right? The way you present all your identifier, all the things that you guys helped us, help me put together, just made it so much easier. But on a human level, I'm happy. You know why I'm happy? Because I
Making
get to
money.
be my dadgum self. Yeah. And who knew? I was like, well, here comes homelessness. I mean, like it's not going to work, and it did. So on this note, because I remember back in the day, yeah, I'm starting to talk like an old man now, but I remember back in the day, branding just wasn't heard of. It was all marketing and then digital marketing, and now it's another buzzword. And you guys were back in the day before it was a buzzword, and it means more than just a pretty screen or just a pretty website. So, what is it? What is the difference? Like, so how
Well,
do you know if your brand is working, right? How do you know if it's not working? Like, what are some tell signs that, hey, I need to get an expert to kind of do a tune up on this brand?
good question. I mean, if you don't have one, that's a great place to start. You're actually better
Right.
off than the people who think they have one and have to start over.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So but then as you're living proof, some people get a portion of it right and some people don't. In my personal experience, I had the element and I had the design that in my mind, and I was trying to portray that onto paper, obviously, for material for advertising. I knew what I wanted. I knew the look and feel and all that, sort of like you did. You had this idea. You're like, okay, I can be myself. So you make these steps towards what is a brand. And then what Tanya did for me, and then she did it for you and done it for thousands of others, is when she came in and said, okay, hold on, that's not all of it. Right. You can't, like, if you just have a logo and a photo, you got a good start. You don't have a brand. You're nowhere near a brand. If you got a logo that nobody can read at 85 miles an hour, you don't have it. You don't have a brand. You don't even have a logo. You think you have a logo, but you don't have a logo. And these are things that she taught me that I didn't realize. I had a script, a big old MC for my company, because I wanted my company to have this high end feel, and I wanted to go to higher end listings and things like that. And it was just a pipe dream in my head. And she came along and like, no, 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 we're getting rid of the script. And I'm like, I like script staying. She's like, no, we're getting rid of the script. The script is leaving now, and we're going to make this big block letters. And I'm like, well, that's boring. Nobody likes a block letter. And she said, people can read a block letter at 70 miles an hour going down the road. They cannot read that script. So, I think that that's the closest I can get. Tanya will clean up my verbiage a little bit more to help those people if you don't have a brand yet. But suffice it to say that the brand has to answer, the five most critical questions. Who do you serve? How do you serve them? What qualifies you to serve them? How does it make their life better? And what makes you different in the space? And I didn't realize any of that at the time. I thought you just spent a bunch of money in advertising. And, I even had a billionaire friend that said that to me. I'm like, how much money should my firm be spending in advertising every year? And he said, all of it. That's not an answer, but that's a
No.
billionaire's answer from a grandpa that left him half of that. But that's not an answer. That's not going to help you build a business. You
No.
got to
No,
have, and she can bring that down into those five questions and then help you rebuild.
I love that. That's down to earth. Real quick, it's asking the right questions before you even try to answer them, and that's what she does. That's what she does
Mhm.
both. Like, I didn't know what questions to ask her. I wouldn't be doing this stuff. So, real quick, let me take the halftime. You're with I miss Mike King every time I do this, guys. All right, so you're tuned in to ESPN 106.1 FM with Mike King Biz Radio. I'm Mike Asherbrander. Hey, love working rolling with Mike King. I love the audience, and we're brought to you today, Tanya Eberhart, Michael Carr with BrandFace. All right, they help me, so dadgummit, they can help anybody. I promise you. So, brandfacestar.com, brandfacestar.com. If you're on the radio, easiest place to go check out. They've got a slew of stuff. We are talking with them about branding and the importance of that. So, Tanya, go ahead and chime in on what we just talked about before I interrupted you, please.
Oh, no worries. Okay, so you'd asked like how do you know when it's really working? And there's a few ways that you can really know pretty much right away. So, number 1, are you attracting ideal customers that you want to work with every single day? Yes, when we put ourselves out there, there's always going to be some element of people that respond to that and want that might not be specifically ideal. That's okay. It comes with the territory. It's what we call fringe benefits of it, right? And
Right.
we can either decide that we do want to work with that person, even if they're not quite ideal, or we can introduce them to somebody else who might be better suited to help that person. But attracting the ideal person, that would be a number 1. Number 2 would be when they really start to converse with you and mention some of the things in your brand, especially that one thing that you stand for. When people reach out to us, a lot of times they say, yeah, I mean, my brand, it might look pretty good, but I'm not profitable. Okay. Why does that mean so much to us? Because our brand identifier is profitable personal
Right.
brands. And we want to be in that circle and know that when they think of us, they're thinking we're not just going to build a pretty brand, because what we say is anybody can build a pretty brand, but if it's not purposeful and profitable, it's pointless. So the other thing is the biggest one, however, is are you making money? Are you making money with your
Yeah.
brand? Because if you're not, you are not viewed as somebody at the top of your space. You're not viewed as an authority or expert, and or you are not dialed in to speak to a very specific customer type. The goal should be they look at you and say, "Oh my gosh, Mike, where have you been? I've been looking for something like this. Thank God you're here."
Hmm. Hmm.
Absolutely. I had a brand. It just wasn't profitable, clear, useful. But I had the elements. And I think
Yeah.
that's where you guys, it's, here's my personal experience. If you don't get the brand dialed in first with the right personal brand, All right. We're talking about personal brand. It's going to cost you so much time, money, and frustration to avoid it. And thank goodness that you guys saw me and went, "Oh, hey, we're going to talk. We're going to reach out and see if this guy, has any sense." And I did because it made total sense. Because I knew, it made sense, and plus, you guys came with my principles, right? Reciprocity. How can we help each other? All of these things snowball, and now the compound effect of that, it's not just a pretty brand and making money. We've made movements. We've made impact in people's lives, right? We've helped
Mhm.
other people individually and together blow up their business, right?
Oh yeah,
And that's what this is about. You guys get joy from that. Like you love
absolutely.
seeing people killing it,
Yeah, and it
and
goes back, Mike, it goes back to my original story, "Change how you're seen and charge what you're worth" is our mantra,
Mhm.
and I couldn't do that when I first started in my career. I couldn't do that because I was green, I was young, I did not know what I was doing, and frankly, it made me mad, so that made me all the more determined to approach it a totally different way, and that's where I took the little bit that I learned from selling vacuum cleaners door to door to spinning that off into a business world because I wanted to change the way I was seen, otherwise I was not gonna make any money.
Yeah.
right,
And I can look back, Michael, and add this. I've had a great deal of success in my career, even prior to BrandFace, right? But I can look back and think, man, if I'd have known these principles then, what could I have done, right? I look back and see
exactly.
all this I left on the table, and I was like, man, it was there for the taking, and I was able to achieve this, but I didn't even have a brand, and I didn't know where to point it, and I didn't know what to
Bingo.
say, and I didn't know who to say it to, and yet I still did. So the principles are that's I think that's why one of the reasons I'm so passionate about them, because they're timeless. They work, and you move the needle, and we're all in business to move the needle. We're here to make profit. We're
Yeah.
here to make money. We're When we can do that and help other people, it's just icing on the cake. You know?
Absolutely. If we had the time, money, and freedom, we don't have to work. We may choose to work, but we also may choose to go out there and do good things and have a nonprofit like you guys do and, help people out. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Man, time. We need another 2 hours. So this is a personal one to me because I'm all about values. An oak tree in the sea of tumbleweeds is how I put it. So what role do personal values play in shaping one's brand?
Oh, huge.
Mhm,
Yeah, huge.
mhm.
I mean, Tanya, I remember it stuck out with me when she first started. She goes, "I'm going to work with you now. Authenticity is going to be big." And she drugged me out of the shadows. Like I put up a fight. I wanted to build a company, but I didn't want to be the face of it. Like I didn't want to be the out front guy at
Right.
all. And she taught me that if my principles were going to permeate that company, and I was going to be teaching that to other people, then I had to be that. And once you start to live that way, it changes you too, and that's the good thing. Hopefully, the listener can hear out there. A great brand. One of the things I love about what Tanya taught me was a great brand doesn't just change how other people see you; it changes how you see yourself. I would have never thought that I would be a real estate broker where I'm
Right.
helping other agents to build a career. I never had any interest in that ever. It never crossed my mind until 2013, and it's been one of the greatest things ever. I live it every day and enjoy doing it every day.
Yeah.
So principles are big. If you're a good, authentic, principled person, then your brand is going to shine like crazy, and people are going to be able to recognize, like you recognized in Tanya. Tanya did one of your principles. She just saw you. You already had an idea of a brand out there. She saw you. She said, "This is intriguing." And she just reached out to you. She wasn't selling you anything. She wasn't hard selling you or doing some crazy, let me see if I can get close
Yeah.
to him to get him to know, like, and trust me type of thing. No, it was genuine. Hey, where'd you come up
It's
with this? I'm
genuine.
very intrigued with it. Right. It opened the conversation. The conversation led to so much more. And so that's one of your principles for people and how to utilize their brand. Is
Mhm.
just call somebody. Hey, how you doing? You look interesting.
It was genuine,
Yep.
and that obviously number one. But here's what's impressive: all the time that you guys take and Tanya takes and her team, right? BrandFace, they built the brand around me. I didn't have to change one thing of who I fundamentally am, and I think that's key because most people are like, "Well, you got to do more of this, or put this shirt on, or change this or that." You guys built it around me. Now, again, if go to Hounds of Business and check this out on the radio, all right, look at me and say, wow. right? Because and you've done that across the board. It doesn't matter, right? You have record holders, you have all kinds of folks that you've worked with, stuntman. I mean, it's just amazing people, and they're all happy. And you see that smile on their face when that's genuine smile. They're happy because they get to be their business is an extension of who they are, right?
Mhm.
And that's a really, really a fun thing and a rare thing, and that's what you guys bring. And you walk people through this process. So, we only got 2 minutes left, so I want to make sure that folks get this. They can go to your website, but do you have any other events or any calls or anything coming up that folks can plug into? Or
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to our website, just go to our contact page, reach out to me, and I will send you a list of things that you can come to where we're live and we can actually converse back and forth. You can certainly follow me on LinkedIn because we post a lot of the stuff there. And I want to take just 1 second and answer Irina's question. I know we're
Yeah, I wanted
limited.
to too.
Yeah.
Good.
She said, I'm
Good.
struggling with the same thing. She said, I'm not young, but I'm many shades of green.
Love that.
Yeah, I do too, Irina. And you'll be happy to know that 90% of the people we work with are old like me. I'm just teasing, but no, they have been in the industry that they're working in and been working on that expertise and very proud of it for years. And maybe they just don't have it all pulled together. They've got it all, but they don't have it all together.
Yep. And I want to answer there's one about how individuals approach controversial topics or issues as a part of their personal brand. Our suggestion is don't.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what I was going
yeah,
to say.
don't.
Don't do it.
no,
Yeah,
Just
it's
stay out of the fray,
stay out of
man.
the fray. You know, just let your brand present who you are as it pertains to the business that you're building. You know, your family, your faith, your principles. Those are the things that need to shine out. It not who's president, who's not president, who's on this side, who's on that side. Leave that for other forums. I think
And be
that's
positive.
yeah.
be very positive. We're all
It's
fighting a hard battle. Yep.
stay in your lane, right? And that's that. I'm not here for that. I know, thanks to you guys, I know what I stand for, what I'm about, and that's where I focus. That's where all my energy and everything goes to. And people are attracted. And if they're not attracted to that, that's a good thing too. We're not here for everyone. We're here for certain people that can get the most value from what we can provide them. And I love it. I love it. People don't waste time with me. I don't waste their time. They're clear and they know what to expect. You don't show up and go, "Oh my God, this guy's." Yeah, you knew that coming into it. You knew that when you saw the brochure, right? So I love it. I appreciate you guys. I hate this, man. Oh, I wish we had another hour. But we'll have you back on the Hounds of Business live stream. That's on YouTube at Hounds of Business. BrandFaceStar.com, best place to go. There's a little chat down there. All right. Don't put silly stuff in there like I do. But seriously, reach out, talk to these folks. They're all heart, all brilliance, and it changed my life and many others. So appreciate you guys. Hey, Mike King Biz, thank you for our partnership. Love rolling with you, my friend. All the great folks out in Richmond, y'all have a great day, and we will see you back here next week. I'll be in Florida, all right, with the great Claudia. So we will get that going. Merlanda, I always mess her name up, poor thing. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Sindal, my wonderful producer, please roll that outro, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.